All right, everybody, onwards we go to covering this side bling project. This is, of course, a part of a playlist that's been ongoing, and we are coding this with the help of Claude Code and Cursor, and we're doing custom design here in Figma. And in the previous video, we made this layout right here for returning the list of cards for this app that we're building, side bling. And each one of them is based on an idea. And so now what we need to do in this video is take utilize the Figma MCP server to get this realized right here in the front end in the browser. So I've created a prompt, or I've written up a prompt here using Google Docs for now, just so you can more easily read it. And it is this. I've selected a frame side of Figma called card layout container. After OpenAI returns the list of ideas, and by the way, if you haven't seen it yet, this is the current state of the app so far. So what is an interest or hobby that you enjoy? I'm going to say, I like painting pictures of birds. Okay, show me the money. So we did this custom Rive animation right here. We made the UI kind of animate out, very fun stuff. And this is what it's currently giving us. This is not meant to be the design, it's just a response from OpenAI. And we're going to put each of these ideas into card format, like in the Figma document that I just showed you right here. And they can go through back and forth previous and next ideas. So after OpenAI returns the list of ideas, fade out the loading Rive file, which we saw where it said thinking. All of the ideas should not be shown at the same time as they currently are. Instead, we only want to show the first idea using the layout selected in Figma. You will see from the selected layout that there's a button for the previous idea and next idea. And when pressed, it should show the next or previous idea. And it tells them, just some guidelines about first and next. If we're on the first idea and the last idea, it should fade out those buttons to like 30% opacity. In the card frame, you will see a tag for idea 1 of 12. This should be dynamic based on the current idea and the numbers of ideas that it generated. And then there's a title, description, and a generate guide CTA button. We're not going to integrate functionality for that just yet. So we wanted to focus on just this part. I also want to knock out animation of each cards when they come in and out. I think that would be cool, some sort of like GSAP sequence animation. So what I'll do is just copy this, and we want to make sure a couple things. First, you want to go up here to your chat settings, tools and integrations, make sure the Figma MCP server is active and has that little green light right there. That means it's ready to rock. And let's close that out. And then we're going to paste this in here. No. Sorry. Rather, yes. We're going to paste this in the Cursor chat instead of using Claude Code. The reason being is because I haven't yet been able to get the Figma MCP server communicating with Claude Code. So we're just going to use it here in Cursor for now. And then obviously I have this set up as Claude 4 Sonnet and then agent mode. Okay. Now before we submit that, we want to make sure, I just loaded up my email client by accident. All right. We want to make sure that we select the parts of the layout that we want to include in this little this prompt. So I'm just going to select this one, which is search term at the top, and then this one right here, card layout container. What I just discovered, you can't select multiple nodes in Figma, like these two different elements. They need to be in one. So I'm going to take both of these and just make them an auto layout. In that way, it's just one element that's selected. So we'll just call this initial prompt layout. Okay, so now that is selected, I'm going to go back and then alter this initial prompt layout. And then now I'm going to rerun this. Let's see if we get a better result. We're having trouble connecting to the model provider. This might be temporary. Please try again in a moment. There it goes. All right, so I just had to hit retry a few times. All right, this is the scary part. It's trying it out. It's scary and it's exciting. So let's reduce this. There we go. All right, so I like painting pictures of birds. Okay, let's show me the money. Yeah. I don't know why I keep saying that. Stop that. All right. Thinking. We got our nice little, ooh, okay. All righty. Okay. So far, so good. Idea 1 of 12. Custom bird portrait artist. Description, offer personalized. Okay, so we can remove this description tag, which tell it remove that. Let's try to click next idea. This is so scary. Please work. Good, you good. There's no animation, which is okay. I don't want there to be animation yet. This is exactly basically what I wanted. Works. Now my big question is if I drag the browser in, yeah, we got a long scroll bar here, which we can fix after the fact. And it's also not responsive, meaning that when we scale this in, it's not, should be automatically shrinking, which we can give it those instructions. Right now, I'm not even worried about that. I think what we could do is just worry about that type of stuff after the fact. I just wanted to work on desktop right now at this point in time. So the first adjustment, we got to get rid of the description part, which again, not a big deal, deal at all. What happens when we get to the last one? All right, it's done, no more. Okay, so now I think what I want to do is focus on some animation ideas. I want to run this one more time. I like shooting Coke cans with my BB gun. So stupid. All right. How can you monetize that? Like, seriously? Let's see. I don't know. Maybe a kid is entering this and just want to make some pocket money. One thing I don't like is how this UI comes in real fast while the thinking is still showing up and it kind of overlays. I think there needs to be a delay. So let me move this over. We're going to give a quick prompt to help fix that. And this time we're going to use our Claude code. I ran the Claude prompt here to get Claude code open. And I'm going to say write. All right. Once OpenAI. Oh, I need to update my cursor. No problem. So once OpenAI returns the response of, or returns the list of ideas, don't show the first idea card right away. Instead, designate 1 second where the Rive loading graphic fades out and scales out to 0 with easing. Then after that 1 second, show the first card. Okay. I think that's going to be it for this particular prompt. I don't want to get into asking more ideas because I just wanted to focus on that alone. And once it gets done, we'll go ahead and try this again, and then we'll start asking it to use GSAP to start creating some sort of really cool animations for each card that comes in and out. All right, so it looks like it's done. Let's give this a shot. Generating ideas. This is the BB gun idea. Like, how the hell are you going to make money? Okay, that was better. I like that. It zoomed out pretty fast. It was quick. Yeah, that worked pretty well in my opinion. Next up, we're going to construct a prompt specifically for when the card is first presented, both the very first card and any subsequent cards, when next is clicked or previous is clicked, which it will still animate. When they come in, we're going to animate some of these elements in using GSAP. All right, so I think that could be a pretty cool concept. So I'm going to construct that prompt and then I'll read it and then we'll submit it. Okay, here is the prompt. Use GSAP to create a series of animations when each card is presented. For the first card, that's loaded after the loading sequence is finished, and also when a user clicks next idea and previous idea. The card container currently has the classes right here. That way it knows what I'm talking about. And that is this card right here. So if I use the Dev Inspector, Control-Shift-I to get this part up, and then you click this little icon, and then you click right here. This is what I'm talking about right there. All right, and then it should shift in from the right of the screen. So in other words, it's going to come from over here by about 100 pixels to the right of its current default position for about 1 second with easing. And I should probably also add to that, it should also come from opacity 0 to 1 during this animation. Okay, then after about 0.5 seconds, after that first animation has started, we should do a masking animation that moves the idea 1 of 12 tag up into view on the y-axis. So it's going to be right here. If I zoom up, this idea 1 of 2, it's going to move up out of nowhere into place. And out of nowhere is achieved by saying its parent container should have overflow hidden so that it animates from nowhere, essentially. You'll see what that means. Do the same thing for the for the card title, descriptive text, the generate guide CTA button, and the text underneath it. So basically, we're saying animate from nowhere on the y-axis, coming up and into position. This element, the title, the description, the button, and then this text down here as well. Let's see here. There should be a very slight offset between each of these animations, like a delay, so that it's treated like a stagger animation. When next idea is pressed, the currently displayed card should shift to the left by 100 pixels. So that means if we click next idea, then this card should shift to the left by 100 pixels and fade out. And then the next card will come in from the other way, essentially. Blah, blah, blah. If previous ideas. Okay, so when next idea is pressed, the currently displayed card should shift by the left, while the next card animates in as described above. If previous idea is pressed, the card should reverse the animation so that the currently displayed card animates to the right by 100 pixels and fades out, and with the previous idea card coming in by the left. So it's a little bit confusing. There's a lot here. Let me just go ahead and give it a shot and see if it can kind of nail out what I envision for the animation to occur. So I've right-clicked in order to paste this into the Claude Code prompt, and let's do it. All right, that looks like it worked. Let's see if it actually works. I like taking bubble baths in nice ambient room environments. So weird. Okay, that's actually true. Okay. Continue on. Let's see how this animation goes. This should shrink out. Oh, okay. That's not too bad. I think it was a little bit slow. I'd want to speed that up initially. I don't like how close this is up here. I want to fix that. I think the text needs to be a little bit smaller in a way to get back to do another search. There's a bunch of stuff that we're going to need to worry about. Now, the one thing I am kind of worried about is the next idea and previous idea buttons. Let's see if it worked. That's actually pretty solid. There's only slight things that I would want to change. It seems like it first waits to move it in, and then there's too much of a delay, a very slight delay by about like half a second. I would like to see these animating in a little bit faster. Let's see if previous button works. It does. It did exactly what I wanted. So we can be a bath retreat organizer. We can be an ambient bath accessory designer. See, these are all legit, you know, I mean, that's a really hard idea to monetize, right? A custom bath fragrance maker. Yeah, I mean, I could see you being like a bathtub influencer, and, you know, you can make money with these ideas. Yeah, this is actually really close to what I envision. I think it's because we said that there's a half-second delay between that stuff animating. This is pretty sick, though. I would want to, like I said, increase white space up here. It's a little bit, just a tad bit too cluttered. But yeah, this is actually pretty sweet here. Okay. Real quickly, I'll just ask it to remove the 0.5 second delay from the card UI elements animating. They should start animating in as soon as the card starts moving into place. Also, let's try to knock out another request. Let's go ahead, Control-Shift-I. Let's select this element. All right. And I think what I want to say is, I think what we'll do is ask it to add more white space by about maybe 50% more than what it currently has on that piece of type. Add more white space beneath and above the search term encased in quotes by about 50% more of what is currently there. Okay, enter. All right, let's refresh this. Let's do a new one. I like walking little dogs. This is literally just stupid stuff coming up off the top of my head. All right, so how can we make money walking little dogs? This is pretty obvious. You start a service. Yeah, dog walking service owner. I like this. This works well. There we go. It seems much better. It's a much better fluid motion. Nice. Dog exercise consultant, doggy daycare for small breeds, mobile dog groomer, little dog meetup organizer. It's just so nice using these nice little animations. It's very fun. Okay. This is good. So now what we want to do in the final thing in this video is we're going to switch gears. We're going to put our designer hat on and step into Rive in order to create this animation down here that I envisioned. It's kind of like a watermark skeleton UI type of animation. And this is what this is what we're going to rock out here in Rive. So I'm going to go rive.app, hit create artboard. I'm just going to eyeball the rough dimensions, the proportions rather, for the artboard. I will go back here to get our main color, which, let's see here, it's copied to the clipboard, so I can just go back and paste that right there. All right, then I will go back one more time. We're going to grab this color as well, that color code, and then we're just going to manually recreate those items. So I'm going to hit O, or letter O on the keyboard, left click, drag out, make it that color right there. And I think what we'll do is nest artboards so that we only have to create one of these, even though there's 3 of them here. So there's like 1, 2, 3 right there. And then we can nest those. So this will be the artboard that gets nested. And then I will also come out here to the rectangle tool, kind of just recreate the title, skeleton. Again, the same color. And also rounded corners all the way. Called like pill shape. And then we'll move this down here, move this out. Here, let's get this out all the way. Now I'm going to move these together a little bit and then increase them just a, well, no. Let's see here. How do I want to tackle this? Make this a bit smaller. You want to get everything matched up as much as possible. So this is the exact height from the top of this. The bottom right here matches the bottom of this, and we're all good. Okay, so then what I'll do is take the artboard and we'll condense it like this. And now what we want to do is kind of create like a gradient in a rectangle. And so to do that, I will take just a rectangle tool, left click and drag, something like this. And then in that rectangle, we're going to change this to a linear gradient. Let me move this over so we can kind of see what's happening here. And what I will do, let's see here. Well, for now, let's just focus on this gradient. So the initial starting color would be this one. The end color will be the same color, this one. And then in the middle, we're going to add a stop right there. You just click in the middle, and this will be lighter. Actually, I was wrong about those two. They need to be this color. There we go. And then this one needs to be that color. Okay. Now, this looks stupid. Trust me, I get it. What we want to do is, let me see if we can take these, right click. I'm going to do an experiment here because I'm not sure how this might work. I'm going to move this over here. We're going to select these 3 elements, hit group, and then take this and add clip and see if we can add it as the group. Yes, there we go. That's what I want. So now what we can do is animate this thing like this. Yeah. I'll move it all the way off the screen initially. There we go, like right there. And then we will take the artboard, go to animate, go to timeline 1, and then we'll select this. We're going to put a keyframe in the X position right there. We're going to move all the way to the end, go all the way over here, keep dragging it on the X axis all the way over here, and bam. And then I think I'll probably take this and put this keyframe around 40, because I don't want it to like keep on going over and over, like going crazy. So let's try to get the timing right of this, and we'll change this right here to a loop. All right, so if you hit your space bar, this is currently what it looks like. It's too fast, so we're going to take this playback speed by clicking up here, and let's make it like 0.5. All right, let's try this again. Maybe we'll go a little bit slower. 0.2. Okay, that's a little bit too slow. We'll go with 0.35. There we go. All right, that's better. Okay, so now that we have that, we're going to create another artboard, which we'll go to the Design tab. We'll just Shift Alt left click, drag this over. We're going to delete this and that. And then now we're going to hit N on our keyboard for the nested artboard tool, and then choose artboard. We're going to put that right there. I'm going to take our artboard 2, scale it down. Now we could duplicate this and then duplicate it one more time. Let's get this right there. All right, so now if we go over here, hit animate, go to state machine, hit play, we could see how now these all have their little animations that we've added. I think I don't want it to be that bright again, so I'm going to go back here. We're going to take the rectangle and reduce the opacity from 68 to maybe like 38. All right, so let's go back here. Let's go to animate and hit spacebar. That's better. Now we could probably make this even cooler by creating maybe a timeline where these are kind of moving up indefinitely. So let's do that real quick. We're going to take all three of them, holding Shift, and then add a keyframe on the Y axis. And then we're going to probably move to the center. We're going to move it up. Ooh, this is tricky. Okay, let me rethink this approach. We're going to have one more. Let's go back to the Design tab. One more of those, Control D to duplicate that. All right, go back. Select this. Oh, these aren't in the same position. This was overlapping slightly. So let's see here. It's probably because we need to take this and increase it correctly. Okay. Now let's go back. This one needs to have a Y keyframe as well. Now we're going to move this here to the center. All right, and maybe we'll move this over here, and we'll put this is looping as well already. So let's see what this looks like. It's not going to look correct. Let's go back to design and let's select this artboard, and we want to make sure that we can't see outside of the artboard, which I thought there was an option to modify that over here. Could be wrong, but I think anyways that's how it will be. Let's take a look at this. So it should appear once we export this as just one big list that's continually flowing. It shouldn't look like this jittery thing that we see here. I don't think so, at least. So what I'll do is take this artboard. We're going to hit export, export for runtime. Skip this mode next time. Export your RAI file. Now it says exported. Oh, there it is, up there. Now I'm going to copy that. I'm going to go into my code folder where our code currently exists. Public. And this is going to be card animation. Now we can reference this file name. And now we have to give it the specific instructions. So we'll go back here to cursor. All right. In public, there is a new RIVE file. I want you to add this RIVE file behind the generate, and I'm trying to remember what that was called. If I go back, generate guide button. Yeah. So let me hit Control-Shift-I to look at the scaffolding here. So it could be placed in this, or maybe a new div that's wrapped around that part. We'll see if we can get it just by us describing. I want you to add this RIVE file behind the generate guide section. The generate guide section may need to be position absolute with a higher index to show the RIVE file. We're just going to see what it does with that alone. We're probably going to have to fix it because we didn't really pass much context into that particular prompt. All right, let's see if it worked. I like to hopscotch until I tire out. Okay. Oh no, failed to generate business ideas. Ooh, what the hell's going on there? I think that one maybe was too weird. Oh, that's because there must have been something happening here. Okay, let's npm run dev. Try that again. I like to hopscotch until I tire out. We'll have to make the enter button work on that submit. Here we go. Okay, it got pretty close. Oh, I know what the issue is. It selected the wrong artboard by default. So it's only showing the one that has in the background. All right, I think I have to make it, I'm gonna have to mention in here, let's relaunch Claude. Tell it which artboard to use along with the name of the state machine. Be sure to make sure, that's dumb. Make sure that the artboard being used for what is happening? Can't even hit backspace. Okay. In the idea cards is the artboard named artboard, and the state machine is named state machine 1. All right. Okay, try it again. There we go. That is better. I like it. It's not all the way across. We can always adjust that, but this is overall pretty good. Let's hit next idea. Nice. It shows up each time. Now we're getting somewhere, people. This is actually pretty freaking awesome. Pretty fun. All right, now it's starting to take shape. In the next section, we're going to go ahead and get the generate guide button actually working and showing this section over here, which is the elaborate guide, where it will help people figure out how to make all this cool stuff. We'll try to tie into the YouTube API as well for this section underneath here. We'll list out thumbnails of YouTube videos that might be relevant. And yeah, there we go. Make sure to check out DesignCourse.com, and I'll see you all very soon. Goodbye.